Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to this newsroom special. We are here on PTV World and we will be in discussion with two very important guests. But before we go to them, let me give you a brief introduction of the organization that one of them represents. Let's move to the visual and then we'll be back.
With the discovery of Dalton's atom, we discovered subsequently finer and finer structures of atom. The deeper one wishes to see in matter, the more powerful a microscope one needs. An accelerator is a form of a special microscope where the particle collisions are used to probe deep into the subatomic world for the quest of knowledge. Today, CERN is the world's largest particle physics laboratory situated in Geneva, Switzerland. CERN became known and popular in Pakistani scientific community in 1973 when they discovered the neutral currents predicted by Professor Salam in an experiment called Gargamel.
One with Salam prediction, which is 22.1 plus or minus 2.4.
At CERN, the Large Hadron Collider, LHC, is the largest particle accelerator, where the particles are made to collide together at close to the speed of light. The process gives physicists clues about how the particles interact and provides insight into the fundamental laws of nature. CERN has contributed to the discovery of several subatomic particles. With the discovery of the Higgs particle at CERN, the last missing piece of standard model is found, even though there are many unanswered questions within the standard model which needs to be answered. Technologies invented and developed at CERN have been beneficial to humanity. The World Wide Web was invented at CERN to share huge amounts of experimental data between various institutes and universities, which is now an integral part of today's communication in almost every household. The first touchscreen was developed at CERN by two of its engineers in 1973, which is an underlying technology in modern-day mobile phones and ATM machines. Accelerator technology for cancer therapy has also profited from CERN. CERN accelerators and experiments stretch the limits of technology. Besides a premier science laboratory, it is also an engineering marvel. Pakistan has been collaborating with CERN since the late 1960s through mutual visits and student exchanges. However, in 1994, CERN and Pakistan entered into a formal collaboration. This was followed by the signature of several protocols. Today, Pakistan is contributing to CERN experiments like ALICE, ATLAS, CMS, and LINAC-4. Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission, PAEC, is playing a leading role in Pak-CERN collaboration for the last 20 years. Today, the collaboration is gaining new heights. Pakistan has built the support structures for CMS, the CMS tracker alignment system, collar shielding for CMS, HF calorimeter, YE4 shielding wall for CMS, and also various other mechanical components for ATLAS and LHC. Some of the finest engineers of PAEC have worked on this effort. For this purpose, PAEC have most modern designing, manufacturing, and fabrication capability at HMC3 and various other facilities. The excellent engineering and craftsmanship of PAEC workers earned the best quality repute for the country, which led to several awards. Over the years, the cooperation between CERN and Pakistan has matured and has benefited both partners equally. It has been a scientifically and intellectually enriching experience for our scientific community. This led us to the path of associate membership. Pakistan has a huge young population, and this younger community is going to take the maximum benefit from this associate membership. This associate membership will open doors toward the much-needed scientific support for research in academia, access of our researchers to cutting-edge technology, and develop local industrial infrastructure. This will be a world-class opportunity as well as a challenge for Pakistanis to prove themselves as a progressive nation.
Welcome back, and as you have deciphered a little bit from what the little visual represented, we will be talking to a very leading representative of the organization CERN. We will have her and other guests with you. So without further ado, let me go towards my guests. On my very right is Charlotte Warakaulle. I hope I spelled your name right, Charlotte. You are the Director IR of the organization that is known as CERN. We'll go towards CERN, but I just wanted the viewers to know who you are. And of course, welcome to Pakistan.
Thank you very much for the warm welcome.
You're more than welcome. Our second guest is Shahid Riaz Khan Saab. He's a spokesperson for the Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission. Shahid Saab, pleasure to have you on board.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
All right, let's begin with Charlotte. Charlotte, first of all, of course, as I said, welcome to Pakistan. This is not your first time. Nevertheless, it's always heartening to see you and representatives of CERN here in Pakistan. And of course, through you, I'd like to extend our best felicitations to CERN as well for completing 70 years of its impeccable service. You know, when you come to CERN, there are so many questions that a normal person might have, as I had when I was researching the show. What is CERN all about? Why did CERN begin 70 years ago? What was the basic modality that brought these countries together to form the organization such as CERN? What is the mission of CERN? Has that mission changed from when it began 70 years ago to today in 2024? What are the major goals? What are the major achievements? So many questions all bundled into one.
Thank you very much, and thank you so much for the interest in CERN here in Pakistan. So CERN is the world's largest laboratory for particle physics. What we do is to study the fundamental constituents of matter and the forces that govern them. So we look at particles that are at the most elementary level where they cannot be cut into smaller pieces. And in order to study these particles, we must build the biggest scientific instruments in the world: particle accelerators, particle detectors, and also large-scale computing. And as you mentioned, the organization now celebrates 70 years, and it was born out of the ashes of the Second World War, really with three main goals: to renew peaceful collaboration amongst scientists in war-torn Europe at the time, also in order to allow countries to work together on experiments that were beyond what any one country can do by themselves, and then to reverse and to mitigate the brain drain that was taking place at the time, because it was understood that fundamental research, and particularly in particle physics, is a driver of innovation and also of socioeconomic development. And it was really a common vision of politicians and scientists at the time to create this laboratory for entirely peaceful purposes in order to bring the countries of Europe together in the pursuit of science.
Charlotte, we haven't yet talked about the goals, the missions, the objectives, but before that, you know, when it began, it was a small number of countries. Now it is 23 member states, 11 associate states as well. How do you increase the number of states, and what is the bar that you put for any country to be part of CERN as a member state or as an associated member state?
That's a very good question. So there were 12 original member states at the time, so a relatively small organization that has grown to 23 member states today and 11 associate member states. Pakistan was the second associate member state to join after many decades of actually working together. So the enlargement of the organization is really driven by the scientific objectives of the organization. So first and foremost, countries must have a mature particle physics community, both in experimental particle physics and theoretical. They must have a strong industrial base so that companies can bid for contracts at CERN. And then there needs to be commitment to particle physics and to international collaboration over time, because the timelines for the experiments that we build and the infrastructure that we run are so long that it's very important that there is commitment over time.
All right, let's talk about your association with Pakistan. How important is your collaboration or relationship with our country, and how much importance do you give to it?
So Pakistan has a very strong scientific tradition, and a particularly strong tradition in physics. We have been working with scientists from Pakistan and engineers for many decades before Pakistan became an associate member. We actually started already working together in the 80s, and we signed a collaboration agreement in 1994, which was then the formal framework for collaboration. And Pakistani scientists have been part of constructing, building, and operating the large infrastructure that we run, the Large Hadron Collider, which is the largest scientific instrument in the world.
All right, Shahid Saab, coming to you. Let's ask from a Pakistani perspective, how do you consider your relationship with CERN?
CERN was established in 1954, and in the beginning, we had many visits of scientists in individual capacity, in individual collaboration with CERN. But as she said, that the relationship formalized in 1994 with an agreement, mutual cooperation agreement, and from then we started our relationship very beneficial to each other. Pakistan is not only now associate member of CERN, but is also contributing in many experiments of CERN, including Large Hadron Collider experiment, and the detection of Higgs boson was also very important milestone in 2012. You see, in 2013, due to that discovery, we had a Nobel Prize also in the CMS Higgs boson discovery. And Higgs boson was detected in the CMS, compact muon solenoid detector, where Pakistani resistive plates made by Pakistan, they were used to detect. So, it is an honor and very privilege for Pakistan that the Higgs boson, which was the missing particle, the fundamental standard model, it was basically detected in Pakistani made resistive chamber.
All right, Charlotte, this mutual collaboration is very important, as I see that CERN employs around 2,500 people from nationalities from all across the world in every area of the organization, whether they be physicists, whether they be computer scientists, or even chefs. When you look at the mission of CERN, your website says that at CERN, your work helps to uncover what the universe is made of and how it works. And you do it by providing a unique range of particle accelerator facilities to researchers to advance the boundaries of human knowledge. What is a particle accelerator all about?
So, particle physics, as you say, is all about understanding the fundamental constituents of matter. Everything around us is made of matter. But of course, this is not fundamental. That can be broken down into smaller pieces. And we're looking at the particles at their most fundamental level, where they cannot be broken into smaller pieces. And by understanding that, we can also understand how the universe has evolved over time. So this is really fundamental knowledge and fundamental research at the smallest scale possible, but with the biggest instruments. And particle physics, fundamental research in general, is really a driver of innovation, because in order to answer the fundamental questions that we ask, we need to innovate and create and develop cutting-edge technologies that will allow us to answer these questions.
All right, that's wonderful. I know that's very exciting and interesting for all those who want to know more about what the universe is made of, what it is all about. And I think your organization is moving in the right direction as far as answering those questions is concerned. What brings you to Pakistan this time?
So, I'm here primarily because we're celebrating with our Pakistani friends and colleagues the 70th anniversary of the organization. This is a milestone for us, 70 years, but we're also looking to the future. We have a very ambitious plan also for the next potential collider that could take over from the Large Hadron Collider. So we're really here to look at and celebrate the relationship between Pakistan and CERN in a historical context, but also to look forward. As an associate member, Pakistan is part of these discussions and is part of setting the strategy and is part of shaping the scientific program of CERN, and this is potentially something that will give us physics until the end of the century.
That's wonderful. Shahid Saab, could you kindly elaborate a little bit about, amongst all the things that your organization is doing, what is this International Nathia Gali Summer College all about? What's the purpose of it, how it began, and how many colleges of this kind have been promoting activities so far under your auspices?
You see, science cannot be done in isolation, and this was realized by our senior people. And in 1974, Nobel laureate Dr. Abdul Salam, he proposed this idea to then chairman PAEC, that you see, if you want to do more research in science and technology, you have to have a forum of this type of activity, scientific discourse, where people from developed countries, they should share the idea with the people from developing countries like Pakistan. So, it was started in 1976. The then chairman Munir Ahmad Khan supported it very well, and even after that all the chairmen of PAEC, they supported this, and that is why this is the 49th International Nathia Gali Summer College, and it is being organized, and it is being organized every year with regular basis, no gap in the college. So, and 1,000, more than 1,000 foreign faculty members, they visited and shared ideas with these with the students and participants of the college, including 8 Nobel laureates. So, this is one of the important forum of scientific discourse, where scientific experience, knowledge of senior scientists and experts, they are being shared with the younger generation, new scientists and new ideas, and they benefit both way. Sometimes new scientists, they give more innovative ideas, and they pick all these things, and this way science is being advanced.
I think the advancement of science is very important, whether it be through the activities that CERN is doing, or whether it be through what PAEC is doing, and also through the collaboration of the two important organizations. You know, Shahid Sahab, coming back to you before I come back to Charlotte, because I have lots of questions to ask you as well. But Shahid Sahab, you know, PAEC, the Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission, is doing great service when you just like this, the INSC project, by promoting the service of and the spirit of the shared scientific ideas by holding annual events at the INSC regularly. What are the other areas that your commission is contributing towards as far as the socio-economic development of Pakistan is concerned?
Well, in 1956, when PAEC, Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission, was established, it was actually established for the peaceful application and application for the human benefit of nuclear science and technology. In the first instance, we had first agriculture center in early 60s in Tandujam, Sindh, that is the Nuclear Institute of Agriculture, and then we had we have now 4 agriculture centers where research is being done on agriculture topics. And same is for, you see, we have established one radiation facility for cancer diagnosis, and you see different type of cancer diagnosis. Then that hospital, that radiation center has become Pakistan, you see, first atomic energy cancer hospital in Karachi, and then now we have 19 such cancer hospitals all over the country. We have hospital in Islamabad, like Atomic Energy Cancer Hospital Noori, and in Karachi, Kiran, in Lahore, in Mole. We have all such facilities. We are trying to give benefit to the people using nuclear science and technology, nuclear techniques to diagnose the cancer and to treat the cancer using radiation. And then we started this nuclear technology and nuclear energy to produce electricity. In 1972, we had first nuclear power plant in Karachi, where that power plant was basically, we entered into the generation of electricity through nuclear, and Pakistan was the 15th country of the world at that time. Now we have 6 nuclear power plants producing more than 3,500 megawatt electricity, and providing it to the national grid, which is now more than 8% of the total installed capacity and more than 18% of the total generation capacity, whatever we are generating nowadays. So, sometime it goes to more than 25% in especially winter. So, these are the things which we are using for the benefit of social. But fact of the matter is that we are also using nuclear science and technology research for the achievement of sustainable development goals set by United Nations for 2030. We are using 11 out of 17 SDGs. We are actually working on that, and we are trying to get results, and like for example, in health and good well-being, and in agriculture, that is food security, food and poverty alleviation, and clean energy, that is nuclear electricity. So, we are trying to do many things, but you see, obviously PAEC is a big organization, and we have many collaboration with other organizations of the world like CERN and like ICTP, like other places of the world. So, we are trying to use nuclear science and technology for the benefit of mankind.
All right. Speaking of the benefit of mankind, Charlotte, how would you describe the contribution of Pakistani scientists and engineers who've been working diligently with your organization as well as with other sister organizations and parent organizations as far as the CERN programs are concerned?
I think the word that always comes to mind is high quality. So the quality of the scientists and engineers who come from Pakistan is always very impressive. The students that come are always extremely high quality. So it's a very mutually beneficial relationship. CERN benefits from the talent of the scientists and the students, technicians who come from Pakistan, and at the same time working at CERN and with the scientists at CERN also allows them to develop their skills, and they can bring that back home. So it's very much a mutually fruitful relationship. And this is the whole CERN model of collaboration, is that you work together to do things that not one country can do, not one institute can do, and it's only by working together that you advance further.
When it comes to the Pakistani scientists or engineers that work with CERN, do they also undergo certain specializations or certain studies that you give them in order to broaden their also mindset concerning the work that they are doing within the within the broad aspect of CERN, and also that could help Pakistan in the long run?
So working in the environment at CERN is in and of itself an asset, because you are exposed to many others at very high levels. So there's always an upskilling that takes place when we have scientists who come with us. At the same time, we benefit also from the high level of expertise of the Pakistani scientists and engineers, technicians who come to us. So it really is a win-win. We also have dedicated educational programs, high school students and up. This is also an opportunity to benefit from the infrastructure and from the opportunities that are there. But when it comes to the scientific work, it really is the mutual exchanges that take place within the experiments and within the accelerator community that allows the scientists to benefit.
And I think this benefit is extremely important because it is a two-way street. It is a win-win situation for everybody, for CERN as well as for those Pakistani scientists or engineers that work within CERN and of course get more expertise in different fields as that is concerned. In the beginning of the program, I had asked you about the bar that CERN sets up as far as the member states or the associate member states that it has within it. You had slightly hinted on that, but I'd like you to explain a little bit on the different levels of experiences that is required by CERN for a country to become a member or an associate member.
So there are different ways of working with CERN, and it really comes back to the maturity of the particle physics community and the interests of the country concerned. The objectives of CERN are always driven by science, so it's not a political decision to join CERN. This is really something which is often driven bottom up by the scientists who wish to be a part of CERN. So first and foremost, there needs to be a strong particle physics community, there needs to be strong industry, and then there needs to be political commitment. And this is also, as I was explaining, the planning and the exploitation timelines that we have for the infrastructure are so long that it's very important that countries that come on board understand that this is really a long-term relationship. And we have really been extremely fortunate that the member states and associate member states that we work with are enormously loyal to the organization. They take a mature and considered decision to join, and then they stay with the organization.
All right. Speaking of this, collaboration with CERN and with other organizations, Shahid Sahab, the role of the Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission is paramount, is manifold. Let's put it that way. On one hand, you are collaborating with different international organizations. On the other hand, you're also developing your own organizations from within, and you are looking at different prospects as to how and when you can enter more specialists into that. And I think this International Atia Gali Summer College that you do regularly is a very good step in that direction, because that ascertains you as to what are the real talents that you could also bring in under your fold. Now, during this current 49th session of the INSC, special sessions are being held in Pakistan to also celebrate the 70 years of the European Organization for Nuclear Research, or CERN, who we are very fortunate to have one of its directors with us. Where does, from your point of view, the Pakistan-CERN collaboration stand now in 2024 at this important juncture, when we see so many developments on so many levels happening across the world? Also, what are the mutual benefits of this collaboration, both for Pakistan and from CERN, from a Pakistani perspective?
You see, we have to motivate young people for future advancement of science and technology in Pakistan. That is very important. And this type of discourse, like for example, we are talking about International Atia Gali Summer College, and now the collaboration with CERN. CERN is also a very good forum where our scientists, engineers and students, young students, can get more opportunities for grooming themselves about scientific development, scientific knowledge they can have. So at CERN, we have, she said that in 2015 we were basically associate member of CERN. We were the first in the Asia to get this stature. And due to this status, we can be part of the CERN Council meeting, and we can have many scholarships and opportunities for students, young scientists, training programs.
All right, Shahid Sahib, you talked about the CERN Council meetings, you talked about training programs. Could you give us a bit more detail about these council meetings that are held and how they contribute and how both the parties contribute to these council meetings? What is the outcome of that you can share with us on our platform, and how important are the training programs, and what kind of training programs are they?
Very briefly, at CERN meeting, a very high level delegation from Pakistan, they used to be the part of the meeting, so they know what is being decided for the future of CERN. So how can we be part of that in future? Similarly, the scholarship and training program, she will elaborate more, but what I want to say that more than 200 positions of jobs, that is per year, is available for associate membership, for associate member state. And the students, they can go for 6 months to 3 years training, different type of training program, scholarships, this type of thing. But I would suggest that she will say more about
All right, so I leave the rest for you to answer, Charlotte.
So
what can you tell
the
us?
CERN Council is the main governing body of CERN. So this is where the scientific program is decided, and as an associate member, Pakistan is part of those discussions. So this is really quite important, because it means that Pakistan is involved in the discussions about the future of one of the biggest scientific organizations in the world. And I think this is really quite impressive from a Pakistani point of view, to be part of those discussions. And of course it benefits the discussions that Pakistan also has a voice there. When it comes to the educational programs, we have educational programs from high school students and up. We have programs for bachelor, early master students, PhD programs, and then of course also graduate program for those who have already graduated. At any one point in time, we have about 4,500 people in different stages of educational or training programs of CERN. So it really is an incredible platform for training the next generation of physicists, engineers, IT professionals, and many, many others.
Do you also have an eye on all those that you train, that you might take under your ambit in the future? If there's somebody who really excels or she who really excels, and you say, oh, this person could also contribute to my organization. Do you also pick from the lot that is being trained under your auspices?
Obviously, we develop a talent pipeline, but all positions are open. They are in open competition. This is a very important principle because all member states and associate member state nationals compete on an equal footing. But we do keep in touch with those who have been part of CERN. We have a very vibrant alumni program. We have about 10,000 that are part of our alumni program. And that creates a bond between those who have been at CERN and may have moved on to something else. And they continue to be in touch with the organization. They become ambassadors for science and also for CERN. And we're extremely proud of the program, and we're extremely proud of our alumni. Many of them go on to have incredible impact on society through the skills they have developed at CERN.
You say the countries, the associate members and the members as well compete on an equal footing. What kind of competition is it? Could you kindly, give a little detail, whatever you can tell us, our viewers, as far as this competition, healthy competition between the member states are concerned, and what does it achieve?
Well, the different types of competition. One thing is competition for posts, where the posts or educational opportunities are open for people to apply, and then of course there's a competition, and excellence is the main criterion. But within the experiments there is also a healthy competition between the different experiments. They all like to be first with their results, and they work together at the same time. So it's a very sort of interesting model of exchanging, working together, but at the same time with a bit of a competitive edge.
All right, wonderful. Shahid Saab, how has Pakistan so far contributed to the different programs that CERN has initiated since it began and since our collaboration with CERN also began?
You see, our scientists, engineers and technicians, they are contributing in the experiments, CERN different experiments like in CMS, in CLIC, in Atlas and many other experiments. So, we are contributing very well. And we hope that we will contribute in future also in the same way and in more aggressive way.
All right. So, we look at a very bright future as far as our relationship or the PAEC's relationship with CERN is concerned. Charlotte, how can young science students or fresh graduates benefit from your organization?
So, I already mentioned we have a wide range of educational programs. So, it's possible to do those directly with CERN. It's also possible, for example, for master students, PhD students who are studying in Pakistan and their institute or university is working with CERN, they might be able to do part of their dissertation working at CERN. At any one point in time, about 3,000 PhD students are doing their dissertations at the infrastructure. So there are different avenues to work with CERN, and I can really only encourage young people to get engaged. The quality of the young people in Pakistan is really quite impressive.
All right. Charlotte, when I look at your introduction on the website of CERN, it says that you are the organization's first director for international relations and that you oversee the consolidation and strengthening of CERN's engagement with member, associate and non-member states. So that also includes those states who are not yet members or maybe aspire to become members one day. Then the partnership building with the international organization and platforms, and the widening of education, communications and outreach activities, including the launch of the CERN alumni program that you've talked about and the CERN Science Gateway project that we haven't talked about. Could you give us more details about these? I'd like to understand how CERN's engagement with the countries is consolidated and strengthened. What are the mechanisms that you employ? Then I'd like to understand how you build on the partnership with the different organizations. And finally, I'd like to understand a little bit about the CERN Science Gateway project.
So there are different ways of engaging with CERN. We have the member states and associate member states, but we also have collaboration agreements with about 50 non-member states and territories. And these range from very extensive agreements such as with the US, which is our biggest non-member state partner, to countries that have developing communities in particle physics where they're really tools for capacity building. And one of my tasks and part of my mission is to expand the reach of those cooperation agreements. We're always looking for mutually beneficial relationships, so it's not an objective in its own right to get more member states or associate member states. We need to find the right type of arrangement for countries that we work with. And there continues to be interest in working with us at different levels. while I have been in office, I have been part of negotiating collaboration agreements with a range of countries. I've also been part of bringing a number of countries on board, both as member states and associate member states. And this is because the physics program, the scientific program at CERN is so attractive that it continues to generate interest from those who are not yet part of the activities. When it comes to the partnership building with international organizations, we work very much through the prism of the Sustainable Development Goals. So we build partnerships, for example, with WHO is a big partner for us, and we take some of the technologies that we have developed at CERN and work with WHO in order to take them into the health space, for example. So it's a way of taking the competencies that we have and develop programs that can serve the Sustainable Development Goals, for example. So this is also an impact on society. The CERN Science Gateway is something we're particularly proud of. This is our new education and outreach center. It opened in October of last year. We've already had more than 250,000 visitors come through. Before Science Gateway, we had 150,000 on site every year, so we have already almost doubled. And it is an incredible center for encouraging young people also to take up careers in STEM, to share the wonder of science with them, and also to make them more science literate. We know that science is essential for addressing the challenges in today's world, and it's important that this is understood. So the Science Gateway is also about increasing the understanding of the role of science in society.
Charlotte, when one looks at your CV, it is impressive to say the least, whether it be your work at the University of Cambridge, whether it be your MPhil in International Relations at the University of Cambridge before that, whether it be your 15 years of work with the United Nations office in Geneva, where you have worked on political affairs, strategic communications, partnerships and management. What aspect of all of that experience do you bring to CERN in this very first one-of-a-kind post that it has established?
I was very fortunate to be selected for this post, and to some extent I do all of that. So everything that I did at the UN I now do at CERN. I just do it for particle physics. So I am the multilateral diplomat at CERN in the same way that I was at the UN. And I was actually, when I was at the UN, I was the focal point for relations with CERN within the system in Geneva. So to some extent it was an easy transition. But I take the same skills and competencies and networks that I used at the UN, and now I use them to promote particle physics.
All right, tell us a little bit about your 3 visits to Pakistan, because this is your 3rd time. We were discussing before the show began. How do you feel about coming to Pakistan, staying here? Anything special that you'd like to share with us as far as your experiences in Pakistan is concerned? What part of Pakistan have you yet to discover?
There's a lot for me still to discover. As you mentioned, I've been here 3 times. I have so far only been to Islamabad, and now I feel that I know Islamabad quite well. I almost feel like I'm coming home. I have good friends in Islamabad. I make new friends every time I come, so I feel very much at ease. And the warmth of the community here is just deeply impressive, and it's also an extremely beautiful place. But what always impresses me most is really the passion of the young people. The students here are absolutely stellar.
Okay.
And it's just fantastic to see the passion that they have for physics, for working with CERN, for working in an international context. And I always come away uplifted from having spoken to them.
That's wonderful, because I think, avenues even like the INSC that the PAEC organizes are a wonderful avenue for you to also understand what the students want, how intelligent or not are they, and how interested are they also in your field that the CERN, works for, whether it be particle physics, whether it be other fields that you would be interested in. So you are somewhere also looking at the avenues, you are looking at what the youth of our country is thinking of as far as that is concerned. On this very special occasion of these 70 years of CERN, I have other questions to ask you as well, but I'd like to understand, what would you like to add? What would you like to do in order to motivate these young students, these young scientists, the academia of different countries, including those in Pakistan that we have recently met with as well during the course of the INSC?
Well, there's so much still to discover. We actually only understand about 5% of the mass and energy in the universe. The more we discover, the more we realize that we know very little. So there's 95% still left to discover. There are great fundamental questions in physics that still need to be explored. CERN is one of the infrastructures where that happens, but it's not the only one. So there's really an exciting future. We are looking now at the successor to the Large Hadron Collider, and to have young people be part of creating that, I think is absolutely fantastic.
When you talk of criteria to have, one of your programs that you were mentioning, just what is the criteria for bringing somebody to a very important post within the ambit of CERN? What do you look at? Is it just the academic experience? Is it a certain practical experience that you're looking at? Is there something more that you're looking at? What is the basic criteria? If I were a physicist and I would like to, apply for that post, what would my criteria be in order to become part of your organization for a post like you've just mentioned?
The fundamental criterion is always excellence. This is an infrastructure that has thrived over decades because the people working there were of the very highest caliber. So different posts will have different requirements in terms of educational background, in terms of numbers of years of experience, and that depends then on the context. So it's very difficult to give a clear answer, but the fundamental criterion is really excellence.
How many times a year does the CERN Council meet, and what are the basic agendas that are discussed during these meetings that you can discuss, share with us?
So the governing bodies meet 4 times a year. The council is the highest decision-making body. It has a number of subsidiary bodies, a scientific policy committee and a finance committee that gives advice to the council, but the decisions are made in the council. And by having governing body meetings 4 times a year, it means we have a very close relationship with our member states and associate member states because we see them on such a regular basis. So we update on the scientific program and we will get guidance and strategic input from our member states.
And are these council meetings also attended by the associate members, or are these just relegated to the member states? All right. So Shahid Saab, when it comes to these council meetings, how much of preparation does one go with, and are there certain points of view that you all also put from a Pakistani perspective on the table for the other member and associate member countries to decipher or to understand or to discuss on, because of the changing environment or atmosphere of the world, which is on a roll these days? How important is that, communication of different points of views from the associate and the member states during these council meetings?
You see, she has not mentioned about the observers. There are many countries, they are also only observers. So associate member, they can also put their case, their ideas, their programs, but you see, we try to get more opportunities for Pakistan. For example, in the council meeting, by having associate member status, we can bid also for our industries can also bid for anything in CERN. And recently we won a bid. So this is an opportunity for the Pakistani advanced industries to participate in the CERN program, to get opportunities for the fabrication, for providing different type of equipments and different type of tools they need for their work. So this is also very good opportunity that we have, and many other things we can do in this CERN Council meeting.
All right. Charlotte, when you look at science fiction programs like Star Trek and so many others, space, the ultimate frontier. Science, I think, is the ultimate frontier as well. It is ever expanding, the universe is ever expanding as well, and CERN's mission is to uncover what the universe is made of and how it works. With the universe unraveling itself and new discoveries being made on such a regular level, how challenging does it make the work that is being done by CERN?
It's challenging but also exciting. Because there is so much that still needs to be unraveled. The more you know, the more you realize that there's actually much more to discover. So one of the most recent important discoveries at CERN was, I think it was mentioned already, was the Higgs boson. It's a very particular particle that complements what's called the standard model of particle physics, which is effectively a model that tells us all the fundamental particles that we know today. And there was one particle missing, the Higgs boson, which is very important because it's the particle that is responsible for giving mass to particles. And this is important because without mass, you and I wouldn't exist. So very, very important particle. And the Higgs boson is really a portal to new physics. We need to understand the Higgs boson in much more detail because it opens up vistas in the scientific endeavor that we cannot even imagine today.
All right, finally, Charlotte, I'd like you to give us a message for the youth of Pakistan, those who are interested to further their studies in physics, in the sciences, want to join CERN directly, indirectly, or Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission. What is the message that you'd like to give to those youth who are interested but don't know how to move forward? What kind of platforms should they use? How should they, educate themselves? What are the criteria?
So there are many ways of educating themselves. Obviously, the CERN website is an incredible resource in terms of the programs that we have, but also their own university professors or the teachers in high school, for example, can be helpful. We have programs also for high school students. We have programs for high school teachers, so often the high school teachers will also be able to help the students to navigate. And of course, the institutions that are working with CERN, the universities, can also give guidance. So it's really just a question of getting out there and seeking the knowledge, because we really need the young people.
That is so true, and I think your endeavor to seek knowledge will continue as you yourself have visited Pakistan for the third time. We wish and we want to see more of you coming to Pakistan in the coming years and collaborating more intensely with our country, that is Pakistan. We have so much to offer, and I'm sure you will agree with me on different platforms, whether it be education, whether it be the sciences, whether it be the physics. I think these are avenues that Pakistan has been working for since the last decades, and I hope this collaboration with CERN, with other international organizations, will continue to bear fruit, not only for Pakistan, but for you as well. So I hope to see you in these coming years many a times, and I hope that you'll come to my show again next year, maybe a couple of years down the lane, to give us an insight on all the more programs that you have initiated with Pakistan, all the more bids that you've accepted from Pakistan's side. Thank you very much, Charlotte L. Warakaulle, Director IR of CERN, to have joined us for this exclusive on PTV World's Newsroom, to have come all the way. We wish you all the very best, and we wish this collaboration between CERN and the Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission continues to prosper, continues to strengthen, and continues to build. And Shahid Riaz Khan Saab, spokesperson of the Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission, thank you very much, sir, to have given us the opportunity to talk to Charlotte, to understand what CERN is all about. A lot of questions that a lot of people had as far as CERN is concerned, as far as particle physics is concerned, have partly been answered. Thank you to both of you guests, and I hope that Pakistan's collaboration with important organizations such as yours continues in the future as well. Wish you all the very best for your continuous stay in Pakistan. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we end this special episode of Newsroom. We've been talking about particle physics, about Pakistan's and the world's nuclear energy and how it's being used for peaceful purposes, and different aspects of CERN Pakistan collaboration, and how both these organizations, that is the Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission and CERN, have been working together. We wish all the best for their future, and we wish for avenues such as CERN to build a more strong, a more prosperous, not only Pakistan, but the world. I think the work that organizations that CERN and also the Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission are doing are for the benefit of mankind, and we hope to see more of that evolve in the coming years. Allah Hafiz.